The Honorable Acting Director for the NAM Center, Ambassador Diar Nurbintoro, the Honorable Director for Technical Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, Mrs. Maria Renata Hutagalung, Director for Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training, Ministry of Agriculture of the Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Leli Nuryati, distinguished trainers, participants, my dear friends and colleagues. I am pleased to welcome you to a synchronized learning session for the online training course on horticulture seed propagation with tissue culture for countries in the Caribbean and Latin American region. This is the first day of synchronous learning, and I would be pleased to introduce the opening ceremony sequence. First, the Director for Technical Cooperation will deliver remarks. After listening to the remarks, the Acting Director of the NAM Center will deliver the opening speech to officially kick off the training. There will be a virtual photo group session at the end of the opening ceremony, and the participants and all attendees will be asked to open the camera at the appointed time. Now, after we know the sequence of the opening ceremony, allow me to invite Mrs. Maria Renata Hutagalung, the Director for Technical Cooperation, to deliver remarks. Mrs. Renata, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mbak Niken. Excellency Ambassador Dr. Nur Bintoro, Acting Director of Non-Aligned Movement Center for South-South and Technical Cooperation, Honorable Dr. Engineer Leili Nuryati, Director of Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training, Ministry of Agriculture, Republic of Indonesia, distinguished guests and participants, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening from Jakarta, and a very good morning to participants of the online training course. On behalf of the government of the Republic of Indonesia, let me extend a heartfelt welcome to all the participants and experts from the Ministry of Horticulture of Indonesia and the Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training. Today, at the opening session of this online training course. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused severe disruption to the safety and well-being of all people around the world. Thus, it is important to strengthen the resilience of people to overcome this challenging time. Through this course, we hope that our participants may acquire and improve the knowledge and skill on horticultural seed propagation with tissue culture to help increase production. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia recognizes the importance of South-South cooperation, which has the potential to accelerate improvements in many sectors. It also benefits in harnessing knowledge and experience, and also in establishing partnerships based on the principle of solidarity, equality, and mutual benefit to ensure moving our world forward and leaving no one behind. In line with this spirit, Indonesia will continue its strong commitment to advance concrete cooperation and contribute towards resilience and sustainable development in the world. Indonesia appreciates the efforts of our development partners to collaborate and achieve our mutual goal. Therefore, I would like to express my gratitude and highest appreciation to NAM Center for their cooperation, initiative, and hard work to organize this training course. It is my hope that this fruitful partnership within the framework of South-South and triangular cooperation will be sustained and expanded in the future. Indonesia is committed to support this training and continue to work together with NAM Center. More importantly, Indonesia continues to seek possibilities of future cooperation programs with all participating countries, as well as open to explore cooperation on various potential sectors that can be utilized within the South-South and triangular cooperation. As I conclude my remarks, allow me on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs once again to express my heartfelt appreciation to all related agencies in the Ministry of Agriculture, as well as to NAM Center in Jakarta for their efforts to organize this training course. Finally, and importantly, stay safe and healthy, and I wish good luck to all the participants and organizing committee for the course of this training. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Renata, for your kind words and remarks. Next, to officially kick off the program, may I invite Ambassador Dr. Nur Bintoro, the Acting Director for the NAM Center. Ambassador Dr., you have the floor.
Thank you, Niken. My dear Honorable Director for Technical Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indonesia, Ms. Maria Renata Utagalung, Honorable Director of Indonesian Center for Agriculture Training, Dr. Leili Nuryati, distinguished speaker, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, Jakarta and Lembang, good morning, Caribbean and Latin American. A variety of nations participate in today's Zoom meeting to discuss seed propagation utilizing tissue culture. This is a great opportunity for me to thank the participants for their commitment. As well, I want to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Agriculture for making this initiative possible. We will spend the next few hours with participants from Barbados, Belize, Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Guyana, Mexico, Panama, and Suriname, which could provide insight on how superior seeds can be propagated in Caribbean and Latin American countries without seasonal limits and with limited planting resources. Ladies and gentlemen, in international affairs, South-South cooperation has long been recognized as an important force. There has been extensive technical cooperation between the different countries for many years. The non-member countries have a lengthy relationship with dates back to the 1961 First NAM Summit. As a result of the summit, we became more independent, able to define our own future and able to create international connection on our own terms. Now, developing countries' solidarity and collaboration are more crucial than ever before. South-South cooperation and agriculture development could be beneficial to trainers and other stakeholders around the world. We may work together for food security in the future, to discover techniques to increase production and reduce crop failure. Due to the importance of this objective, NAM Center is providing its full support. Through employing resources and adapting principles, we hope to make it easier to analyze current agriculture development, exchange experiences with other stakeholders, and comprehend and manage agricultural challenges through systematic thinking. In the future, countries will face a number of shared problems. Genetic anomalies in seeds, which have in the past put agriculture at risk, must be regulated as a result. It is in both of our best interests to handle this matter. Agriculture could really heavily on South-South cooperation to succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, joint effort of non-member countries in the agriculture I highly value in the NAM Centers program. Over the years, the NAM Center has worked to assist our member countries. We should contribute to the spread of agriculture knowledge and ideas. It is our goal to continue to improve everybody's agriculture skills and expertise. Despite the pandemic, the agriculture training project for African, Caribbean, and Latin American countries was recently scheduled. Up until the end of October 2021, we will provide at least 4 virtual training courses, each with 2 batches in tissue culture technologies, integrated pest and disease management, hydroponic crops, and labeling and packing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me clarify that the NAM Center is eager to encourage deeper cooperation between developing countries, which is based on common agriculture interests. We will do everything we can to help our brothers and sisters attain the goals of sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture, in our opinion, has the potential to unlock the economic potential of the global South developing countries. Honorable directors, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, I would like to express my gratitude to the government of the Republic of Indonesia for its cooperation in organizing this event with NAM Center. The discussion, I believe, will be fruitful, and I hope everyone enjoy it. It is our intention to implement whatever you discuss, agree on, and deliberately offer. You can rely on us to get the job done if anything comes up. Let's work together to realize our true potential. With these remarks, I therefore declare the formal opening of this training. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Selamat malam dan good morning. Enjoy the training. Thank you, Niken.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Biar, for officially kicking off the event. A virtual group session will now be conducted. Please open your camera. For all participants, you are also invited to do the same. You can click or tap the camera icon, which is located at the bottom of your screen, to activate it. Okay, for other participants, please turn on your camera. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Perhaps Mrs. Gloria Medina, Miss Ednita Gonzalez, Mr. Michael Lopez, Mrs. Margarita Castro, you can please turn on your camera. We are going to have a virtual photo group session. Okay. Yes, everyone has started to turn on their cameras. Please take your best possible position before we begin. I will go counting from 3 to 1 now. 3. Okay. Yes. 3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1. For the next page, okay, I'm going to count again. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, so distinguished trainers, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, having formally started the program, we can now proceed with the substantial elements of the training. Before proceeding with the presentation and discussion, let us watch the video profile of IC80 Lembang. For the IC80 Lembang team, please share the video now.
Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training, IC80 Lembang, is one of the popular agricultural training centers in Indonesia, with a strategic location in the area of agriculture, making IC80 Lembang as the most appropriate location to practice agriculture, both for farmers, extensions workers, job seekers, and job creator in agriculture. IC80 Lembang was established in 1962 under the name of the Agricultural Training Center and currently namely as Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training. IC80 Lembang is committed to creating training alumni who are competent and able to compete in the global world. So IC80 Lembang seriously prepares trainers who are experts in this field, including education staff with support aid. To support the competence of training participants, Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training Lembang provides many training facilities which are also teaching factories for the training participants. Various facilities and infrastructure are prepared to increase the competency of participants during the training process, supported by some of the latest technological equipment in order to obtain superior and competitive agricultural human resources. As follows: representative classrooms, comfortable dormitories and guest houses, ballroom which is sufficient size for meetings, field practice with a complete and integrated commodity collection, automatic and modern greenhouses, laboratory in accordance with standards, packing house equipped with cold storage, integrated training system, library with a collection of thousands of books and can be accessed digitally, e-learning, a comfortable place for discussion to build fresh ideas. The achievements that have been carved are one of the proofs that we are serious about realizing our vision and mission. Domestic and foreign cooperation has also been carried out to support the vision and mission of Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training Lembang, and at the same time is a trust given by stakeholders to ICET Lembang.
Belajar di BBP Lembang itu menyenangkan karena sarana belajarnya lengkap, budaya suaranya oke, sehingga kami, para peserta pelatihan, dapat hal dan teknologi baru terkait perkembangan pertanian saat ini.
Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training Lembang alumni are ready to compete in global competition. That's the right phrase to describe how ICAT Lembang commitment, making alumni a valuable asset for the advancement of Indonesian agriculture, challenging the future to realize the victorious agriculture in the future, together with the ICET Lembang, preparing Indonesian agriculture to ensure world competition.
Thank you very much, ICAT Lembang team, a really remarkable profile video of your institution. Next, ICAT Director, Dr. Lely Nuryati, will give a presentation. She will present on ICATs in Indonesia and also the government of Indonesia's program and policy on horticultural seed. Dr. Lely, you are welcome to begin presenting your PowerPoint as soon as you are ready.
Thank you, Ms. Niken. Nice to meet you again. Honorable Director of Technical Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, Ibu Maria. Nice to meet you again. Honorable Ambassador Bapak Diar Nur Bintoro, Acting Director Non-Aligned Movement Center for South-South Technical Cooperation. Nice to meet you again. Maybe for fourth time we see each other virtually.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, and also all the participants from Caribbean and Latin American countries. Good morning, and hope always healthy in your country. Now in Indonesia, starting getting dark at night in the evening in Jakarta and also in Lembang. This night I would like to explain about our program in the Indonesian Training Center and also for the policy of the horticulture seeds. Please, from Lembang, would you like to share the screen? As our President Joko Widodo, the vision of Indonesia independent, advanced, fair and prosperous, the priority of our development program is the human resource development is the key point of Indonesia in the future. Improvement of the Indonesian education system, especially through revitalization on vocational education and training, counseling and certification. Next. Our Minister of Agriculture has the vision that agriculture advance, modern, self-sustaining. Next. Now we have the agriculture development goals. First is to ensure food for 267 million people of Indonesia, improving farmer welfare, and promoting export. Next. Next. Yeah. The general objectives and main strategies for 2020 to 2024 is the realization of professional, independent, competitive, and entrepreneurial agricultural human resource. There are 4 main strategies to achieve the general objective. First is the extension to establish an integrated and modern agricultural extension system. Second, training by strengthen the agricultural vocational training system based on competency and competitiveness. Third is education by strengthening competitive agricultural vocational education. And fourth, the bureaucracy reform by reinforcing bureaucratic reform. Next. For our Indonesian agriculture extension human resource development, we have 3 action programs. First is the movement of the Agricultural Development Strategy Command, or we call it Kostratani. Second is extension, education, and vocational training support the growth of millennial agricultural enterprises. And third is the extension, education, and vocational training support the main program of the ministry. Next. Now we have 4 the Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training programs. First is the competencies enhancement for apparaturs and non-apparaturs through vocational, functional, management, and entrepreneurship. Second is the standardization and certification of the agricultural profession. Third is growth and strengthening Farmer Agricultural Rural Training Center, or we call it P4S. And for development of technical and management training cooperation at home country and abroad, including apprenticeship. Next. In Indonesia, now we have the Agricultural Training Center. In Sumatra, we have the Indonesian Center for Agriculture Training Jambi. This training center is focused on the estate plan and swampland technology. In Lampung, focus on food crops, lowland horticulture. In Ciawi for the management and leadership. In Cinagara for animal husbandry. In Lembang for horticulture. And we also have in the Binuang for the estate plan and tidal technology, in Batu for dairy and livestock product, in Ketindan for horticulture. And in Batangkaluku, we have focused on the mechanization and water user management. And in Kupang, we focus on the livestock and dry land technology. Next. Regarding to the training in competencies improvement of agricultural human resources, we have three main programs. First, the Agri Training Camp. Second is the downstream vocational functional technical training. And third is Young Farmer Leader Training in Japan. All the activities of training also guiding by the Center of the Agricultural Research Development. And here we can see that the certification also done for the estate plan, livestock, horticulture, and machinery. Next. Now our training development, it is based on the using of the information technology. The IT-based training development will be benefit in the era of the industry 4.0, remove time, space, and distance barrier. And also for the IT utilization and training solution during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next. Now we are doing the knowledge reinforcement through online training. We have the program of the Bertani on Cloud, and we do this program online system. And now we reach around more than 100 volume for the Bertani on Cloud, and farmers using this program can follow the training online for any kind of the subject, not only for the horticulture, but also for livestock, for estate crops, and for food crops. We also have the learning management system, and all the LMS or learning management system also done in all our ICAP in Indonesia. Next. Our program in the competency certification standardization now almost 250 more people as the assessors joining in the activity of the competency certification standardization and certification for estate plan, livestock, horticulture, and machinery. Next. Here, all the certification that we have done for the all activity related to the agriculture and agribusiness. Here we can see for the reproductive of technical assistant, for organic livestock, for soybean, hydroponic, soy milk maker, and all activities regarding to the improving the quality of our human resource development in agriculture. Next. Competency certification is the process of giving certificates to the agricultural human resources apparators and non-apparators, which is carried out systematically and objectively through a competency test with reference to the Indonesian national work competency standards in the agriculture sector. For professionals, obtaining certification will provide the following benefits. Recognition of one's competence has a competitive advantage over those without certificates, has the potential to earn higher salary, have a greater chance of getting a job, and supporting a professional career by competent personnel. Next. We have the Farmer Agricultural Rural Training Center, or FARTC, is an agricultural and rural training institution that is established, owned, managed by independent farmers, both individually and in groups, and is expected to be able to directly play an active role in agricultural development through the development of agricultural human resources in the form of training, apprenticeship for farmers and communities in the region. Next. The Japanese internship program now we have done to give birth to millennial agricultural entrepreneurs. Usually we start for the socialization around January, March, and then we do the selection and orientation in October, November, and start for pre-departure on December until next February. For the Japanese internship programs, the general requirements engaging in farming 2 years minimum, actively involved in farmer group, age between 21 to 27, good physical and mental, and minimum senior high school and parents guarantee. Next. Next. Now we would like to present the Horticultural Seeds Program and Policy. Next. Horticultural Development Strategy in 2021 to 2024. First is the horticultural village development. It is including the fruits, vegetables, and medicine plants. B is growth of micro, small, and medium enterprises in horticulture, aid for post-harvest facilities and infrastructure, and processing of onions, chilies, fruits, and other vegetables. And C is the growth of micro, small, and medium enterprises in horticulture, aid for post-harvest facilities and infrastructure, and processing of onions, chilies, fruits, and other vegetables. Next. Now the Horticultural Village Development Program. This is the development of economic scale of horticultural areas. With this program, we grow and also we develop the one village, one variety. Minimum 5 hectare till 10 hectare of the horticultural village in each sub-district. This one village and one variety supported by the government quality of seeds, organic, inorganic for the all the input of the production, environmentally friendly plant pest organism control, post-harvest facilities and infrastructure and processing, and also village registration and product certification. So all the activities should be cooperation in area, fulfilling the need for fresh and processed domestic products, increase export for horticultural products, development of agrotourism and agroeducation, and also horticultural for medium and small microeconomic development. All this activity, of course, for the improving the welfare of the farmers in the village. Next. What is the horticultural villages? First is the village development in one administrative area. One village is 10 hectare for the fruit and vegetables, and for medicine crops 5 hectare. So this village suitable for the agro ecosystem. The community is enthusiastic about caring for plants and is a local government commitment. Next. Horticultural development, starting with the seeds. Production, procurement of quality seeds, seed certification, seed circulation supervision, and seed infrastructure. All to support the area and village commodities of vegetables, fruits, floriculture, and medicine plants. Besides seeds, we also improve the production management environmentally friendly pest control, and handling the impact of climate change. In order for the supporting food security, we in horticultural development support the product stock availability, price stability, products distribution, warehouse rental, and farmers markets. And also for downstreaming of industrial raw materials, such as facilitation of post-harvest facilities and infrastructure, facilitation of processing facilities, and also infrastructure. And this horticultural development also support export by marketing, development facilitation, and quality assurance and food safety. Next. Specifically for the seeds quality, seed is the main means of horticulture that cannot be replaced by other. Therefore, the use of quality seeds is a must in horticultural agribusiness. Next. Now we have the horticultural seed vision. The fulfillment of the need for quality seeds from superior varieties support the development of competitive and sustainable horticulture. Horticultural seed policy, independent domestic seeds, independent seeds in every production center, and strengthening seed institution. Next. The seed development strategy. First is the spread of superior varieties, local plus introduction. Second, increase supervision of horticultural seeds regulation and certification. Third, strengthening and increasing the production capacity of the institution and seed producers. Facilitation of mother trees and infrastructure for seed propagation. Fourth is the capacity building for seed human resources. Fifth is the provision of conducive horticultural seed regulation for the domestic seed industry, and this is for the total seeds export. Six is the socialization of quality seed. Seven is to support the seed producer for the certification. And eight is the covering for the implementation of national SDGs to support and develop the superior variety in exploration, observation, domestic, and duplication of the seeds. Next. The horticultural seed legal basis based on the law number of 11/2020 concerning job creation, government regulation on the Republic of Indonesia number 26/2021 concerning implementation of the agricultural sector, Ministry of Agriculture number 15 of 2021 concerning standards for business activities and standards for products in the implementation of risk-based business licensing in the agricultural sector related to the horticultural seed in the Ministry of Agriculture 15/2021, including business standard for germination of activities, standards for seed entry and exit, standard varieties registration, standard for circulation, and based on the Ministry of Agriculture Regulation number 23 of 2021. Next. Horticultural seed legal basis, also based on the Ministry of Agriculture regulation concerning horticultural seedling. This is related to the horticultural seeding in Ministry of Agriculture 23/2021, among others, purification of varieties, certificate of competencies of seed producers and distributors, quality management system certification, seed production, as well as certification and supervision of seed circulation. Next. Seed institution, Horticultural Research and Development Center, or Vegetable Research Center, Fruit Research Center, Bali Jestro, Ornamental Plant Research Institute, and Balitro. And also Directorate of Horticulture Seed, Horticultural Seed Centers in 32 provinces, seed supervision and certification centers spread across 32 provinces, horticultural seed producers and breeders, especially for the salad, 100 breeders, for the potato seed breeders, around 103, and 500 fruit seed breeders. Now for the vegetable seed producers, we have 48 domestic investment and 14 foreign investments. Next. Now in 1984 till 2020, we releasing and registering manufacturer for the private sector, around 190, for the university, 3, agricultural services, province and district, 30, Indonesian Research and Development Agency, 5, and totally around 228 of releasing registering manufacturer. Next. This is the allocation of assistance to facilitate the seller seeds. We can see here the guidance for the farmers in order for the salad seed assistance, and also for the salad regency in 14 provinces. Next. Thank you for the attention, and hope all this information will be benefit to all the participants in this training. Enjoy the training and see you in other time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lely, for sharing your insight. And it is highly inspiring what the Indonesian Ministry of Agriculture has done to improve the welfare of the Indonesian farmers and other stakeholders overseas. Distinguished participants, we are now getting to the core of the training program. Mrs. Sani Hanifah, a lecturer from the ICAT Lembang, is already present. Before Mrs. Sani begins, I would like to read her brief resume. Mrs. Sani has over 15 years of experience in training and teaching agricultural human resources. She is an agronomist. She has extensive professional experience in horticulture and tissue culture. As part of the tissue culture technology, she trains in tissue culture media. She is now working as lecturer in the ICAT Lembang, the Ministry of Agriculture of the Republic of Indonesia. Mrs. Sani holds a Master in Agronomy from the University of 11 Maret. In this session, of course, she will give presentation on tissue culture media. Mrs. Sani, you could begin your presentation now.
Thank you, Ms. Niken. Okay. Let me share. And hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sani. I'm from ICT Lembang, one of the lecturers. I'm glad to be here with you today. Okay, in this presentation, we will discuss about tissue culture media. Maybe some of you already know about tissue culture. Maybe later we can discuss especially about media, tissue culture media. Okay, next. First, what's in tissue culture medium? In tissue culture medium, that is excised plant tissue and organ will only grow in vitro on a suitable artificially prepared nutrient medium, which is known as a culture medium. The media used in plant tissue culture contain nutritional components which are essential for the growth and development of the cultured tissue. The success of the tissue culture depends very much on the types of culture media used. Also, the age of the plant has an effect. For example, juvenile tissue generally regenerate roots more readily than adult tissue. Okay, development of culture medium formulation was the result of systematic trial and experimentation. The most important thing for the tissue culture process is the composition of the culture media. Because if we don't have the right media composition, the tissue culture process will not work. Okay, next. Here's some example of some already established plant tissue culture medium. Okay. Media names are usually based on the name of the inventor. Like in the slide, there is Murasige and Skog, and Linsmeyer and Skog. Media contain desired salt concentration and widely used, commonly used, MS and LS. And there is a white medium. Media contain low salt concentration and used for root culture. Okay. Murasige and Skog medium is the most suitable and most commonly used basic tissue culture medium for plant regeneration from tissues and callus. But for white medium, which was designed for the tissue culture of tomato roots, has low concentration of salts than MS medium. Okay. Next. Here's another composition plant tissue culture media, Gambog, or we call it B5. This media contain much greater proportion of ammonium and nitrate ions and used for cell suspension or callus culture. And also there is NITS and NITS or N6. Media contain low salt concentration and used for anther culture. And Lloyd and McCone with WPM or woody plant medium. This media contain very low salt concentration and used for tree sap. Gambog medium was devised for soybean callus culture and has lesser amount of nitrate and particularly amount salt than MS medium. Many companies sell package prepare mixture of the better known media recipes. They are easy to make because they merely impulp, dissolving the package mixed in a specified volume of water. This can be purchased as salt, the vitamin, or the entire mix with or without plant growth regulator, agar and sucrose. These are convenient, less prone to individual error, and make keeping stock solution unnecessary. However, they are more expensive than making media from scratch. Okay, next. Okay, here's some composition of culture media. There is seven items. The first is distilled water, and then macro and micronutrients, and the third is vitamins, and the fourth is sugar. You need sugar, and five is agar, and then there is organic compounds, and the last is you need plant growth regulator. Growth and development of expand in vitro are products of its genetic, surrounding environment, and components of the tissue culture medium, the last of which is easiest to manipulate to our own ends. Okay, next. The first is we have distilled water. We need high quality water. It's required ingredient of plant tissue culture media, because the inhibition of growth of culture plants can be caused by the low quality of the water used. But for making stock solution, we must use distilled water because it's no longer contain mineral and organic compounds. But for tap water, contain cation, anion, particulate of various kind microorganisms and gases that makes it unsuitable for use in tissue culture media. Okay, next. Next is we have macro and micronutrients. Mineral nutrients requirement for plant culture in vitro are basically the same as the nutrient requirement for plants grow in soil, including macro and micronutrients. Macronutrients are nutrients that plants need in large quantity, such as nitrogen, there's calcium, magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, and sulfur. These elements have both structural and functional role in protein synthesis. Also for nucleotide synthesis, and calcium for cell wall synthesis. Also magnesium for enzyme cofactor and membrane integrity. Okay, next. Next is micronutrients. Micronutrients are needed by plants in small amounts. There is such as boron, cobalt, iron, manganese, molybdenum, copper, zinc, and iodine. Iron and manganese essential for photosynthesis. Molybdenum, zinc, and copper essential cofactor for many enzymes. Boron is essential for lignin biosynthesis. Next. And the third is we have vitamin. Vitamin are organic substances that are parts of enzyme or cofactor for essential metabolic function. In vitro plant culture requires the addition of vitamin that function to increase plant cell growth. Vitamin used are thiamine, pyridoxine, nicotinic acid, and riboflavin. And also we use amino acid such as glutamine, aspartic acid, arginine, inositol, adenine sulfate, and casein hydrolysate, glycine, and etc. And also inositol used to stimulate the growth of culture tissue. Okay, next. Next is we have sugar. Why we need sugar? Plants that are cultured in vitro usually cannot carry out photosynthesis perfectly because the intensity of light with GL lamps in the laboratory cannot be the same as sunlight. So therefore, it is necessary to add a ready-made carbohydrate such as sugar to the culture media so that the growth of in vitro plant culture can take place optimally. The most commonly used sugar is sucrose. Therefore, also in the slide we have cane sugar, sucrose, and from corn sugar fructose, and use of autoclave fructose is not recommended as it would be detrimental to the growth of tissue. Typically, the sugar added to medium between 20 up and 40 gram per liter media. Okay, next. Why sucrose is the most preferable carbon source for plant tissue culture? Because cane sugar or sucrose is the cheaper source of carbon. A partial hydrolysis of sucrose occurs when media are autoclaved and form glucose and fructose. And also sugar easier to get in the market and cheaper. Okay, next. And next we have organic compounds. It's natural supplement ingredients such as tomato juice, orange juice, coconut water, and so on, are sometimes used as media enhancer, especially if the substances identified have not been deemed sufficient for culture growth. These ingredients are believed to be a source of various amino acids, peptides, vitamin, and natural growth regulators. Although recently the use of natural supplement material has been decreasing due to the advancement of research on the composition of organic compounds. Okay, next. We also sometimes use activated charcoal. But why we use the activated charcoal in plant tissue culture? Because activated charcoal is useful for absorption of the brown or black pigment and oxidized phenolic. It is incorporated into the medium concentration of 0.2 up 3%. It is also useful for absorbing other organic compounds, including plant growth regulators such as auxin and cytokinin, vitamin, iron, and zinc. Okay, activated charcoal is mainly used for its irreversible absorption of inhibitory compound in the culture medium, i.e. the toxic metabolic, phenolic exudation, and brown exudate. In addition to this, activated charcoal is involved absorption of vitamin, metal ion, and plant growth regulator, including abscisic acid and gas like ethylene. It may also promote somatic embryogenesis and may enhance growth and organogenesis of woody species. Okay, next. Next we have agar. Agar is a for solidifying agent. Agar is used to solidify tissue culture media into a gel. Agar is a natural product of seaweed and is obtained from red algae or Gelidium gracilaria, which consists of agarose and agropectin. It enables to explain to be placed precise contact with the medium. High concentration of agar result in a harder medium. If a lower concentration of agar or if the pH is low, the medium will be too soft and will not gel properly. To gel properly, a medium with 0.6% and must have a pH above 4.8. The tertiary structure of agarose is a double helix with a central cavity which can accumulate water molecules. Okay, next. Next, we have another agar called crude agar. Contain lots of impurities, mineral, organic compounds which may interfere with tissue culture. Also, there is pito agar is purified and has melting point of about 65 degrees Celsius and gelling point between 40 up 50 degrees Celsius. And agarose is a purified fraction of agar. Agarose is extracted from agar leaving behind agropectin and typically has low melting and gelling point. It is more expensive and used for photoplast. Agarose is often used when culturing protoplasts or single cell, and its gel strength is greater less is used to create suitable support or suspending medium. Okay, next. We have a phytogel, gelid or phytogel. Gelid is a naturally derived gelling polymer produced by the microbial fermentation of a bacterium Pseudomonas eludae. It is an attractive alternative to agar for plant tissue culture because of its remarkably clear in appearance than that of agar. Okay, they are made from a polysaccharide produced by a bacterium. The higher concentration of this ion do not allow the gelling of the media. Okay, next. The last is we have is plant growth regulator. Plant growth regulator is exert the dramatic effect at low concentration, about 0.001 up to 10 micromolar. Organic compounds. Plant growth regulator is organic compound but not plant nutrients. PGR, we call PGR, is active in small amount and synthesized in certain parts of the plant and generally translocated to other parts of the plant, where these substances cause biochemical, psychological, and morphological responses. Also, growth regulators have an important role in tissue culture activities, such as for regulating the development of explant, for example, organogenesis or embryogenesis by adjusting the type and concentration of certain growth regulator in optimal combination. Usually, PGR must be supplied in the medium for growth and development of the culture. They also stimulate cell division, expansion. Sometimes a tissue or explant is autotrophic and can produce its own supply of PGR. Okay, next. In research or commercial application of plant tissue culture technique, must understand difference between the terms plant hormone or plant growth regulator. Okay, next. What is plant hormone? In the strictest sense, only those substances that naturally occur in plant and fit the previous definition can be considered plant hormones. But, however, the agrochemical industry has coined a second term, plant growth regulator, used to denote only synthetic compounds that exhibit hormonal activities. Some of the PGRs used are hormone, naturally synthesized by higher plants, and others are synthetic compounds. The concentration of PGR are typically reported in milligram per liter or in micromolar unit of concentration. Okay, next. PGR or plant growth regulator there is 5. The most important class of PGR used in tissue culture as auxin and cytokinase. There are 5. Auxin, cytokinin, gibberellin, abscisic acid, and ethylene. Okay, next. The first is auxin. Auxin are required by most plant cells for cell division, cell elongation, cell differentiation, organogenesis, and embryogenesis. Miller and Cook noted that a high amount of cytokinin and amount low by auxin form shoots. Roots are induced by a low concentration of cytokinin and high auxin, and callus is formed at an intermediate concentration of auxin and cytokinin. The most common synthetic auxin used are naphthalenic acid and picoram, but a naturally occurring is indolacetic acid and indolbutyric acid. Both EBA and EAA are photosensitive, so the stock solution must be stored in the dark. Okay, next. Here we have cytokinins. Cytokinin are adenine derivatives, which are mainly concerned with cell division, modification of apical dominance, and shoot differentiation in the tissue culture. Naturally, after the cytokinin are Ba or benzyladenine, also kinetin, zeatin. And the synthetic cytokinin are benzylaminopurin and 2-IP. Cytokinin promotes cell division and stimulate initiation and growth of shoot in vitro. The cytokinin most commonly used are zeatin, kinetin, benzyladenine, tidiazorin, and 2-IP. In higher concentration, 1 up to 10 milligram per liter, they induce adventitious shoot formation but inhibit shoot formation. Okay, next. Next is we have gibberellin. Gibberellin or gibberellic acid, Ga, more than 60 form GA and GA4 and 7 most commonly used. GA is not frequently used in general culture media, however, it promotes stem elongation, bulb and comb formation and embryo maturation, but can inhibit callus growth and root induction. Gibberellin help to stimulate elongation of internodes and have proved to be necessary for meristem growth for some species. Okay, next. Next, we have abscisic acid. ABA is ABA. It's a plant growth regulator that is naturally synthesized in chloroplasts and found in various types of plants. ABA is produced by plants when under stress. ABA is classified as a plant inhibitor because it works opposite to auxin, cytokinin, or gibberellin. In tissue culture, it inhibits root growth and germination of embryos, but is helpful in embryo culture. Abscisic acid is not normally considered an important plant growth regulator for tissue culture, except for somatic embryogenesis and in the culture of some woody plants. For example, it promotes maturation and germination of somatic embryos of caraway and spruce. Okay, next. Next, we have ethylene. Ethylene, the role of ethylene is first to induce callus growth, to inhibit apical dominance, also to stimulate the formation of adventitious and axillary shoot, also to stimulate root formation and stimulate the formation of flower. The root formation is not very specific, meaning that there is something that encourages, some that inhibits it. This depends on the type of plant and the concentration of ethylene. Organ and callus culture are able to produce gas plant growth regulator as ethylene. Since culture vessels are almost entirely closed, ethylene can sometimes accumulate. It appears to influence embryogenesis and organ formation in some gymnosperm. Sometimes in vitro growth can be promoted by ethylene. At other times, addition of ethylene inhibitor result in better initiation or growth. Okay, next. Plant growth regulator used in concentration of 0.001 up to 10 micromolar. Many can be autoclaved, especially for synthetic, but others degrade with heat and should be filtered sterilized. Most have interaction with each other, can cause a multitude of effects, and can be prepared in water, calcium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, ethanol, and dimethyl sulfoxide. Okay, next. Here, how we prepare of plant growth regulator solution. For example, we here in benzyladenine. Benzyladenine dissolve 20 milligram of either benzyladenine in 5 milli of 95% ethanol and bring volume to 20 milli milliliter with water and store at 4 degrees Celsius. Cytokinin and auxir are insoluble in water. Some use methanol depending on the plant growth regulator we use. When buying plant growth regulator, we pay attention to which company. For example, Sigma is dissolved in what medium. Usually there is an indication whether it is ethanol or not. Okay, next. Sometimes we use antibiotic. Antibiotics are not used routinely against contaminants in micropropagation because often they are ineffective, kill the culture or induce chromosomal instability. However, some have been useful on occasion. We use cefotaxime, carbenicillin, and ampicillin. Okay, next. Here's some example of media composition of Murasagiouscope on MS media and woody plant medium. A comparison of the composition of several of the most commonly used plant tissue culture media with respect their component in milligram per liter. Just as a plant growing in vivo requires many different elements from either soil or fertilizer, the plant tissue growing in vitro requires a combination of macro and micronutrients. The choice of macro and micronutrients and their concentration is species dependent. Okay, next. Next is the tools. The tools needed to make stock solution. To make easier to make media, we have to divide the composition to up to 5 or 6 stock solution. So we need this tool: analytical balance, like a hot magnetic stirrer, spatula, quartz glass, beaker glass. Okay. The plethora of units used to measure concentration may be confusing when first encountered. So a description of the most common unit and what they mean is given below. Okay, next. Here's some design stock for MS media. Before we begin making media, we have to make stock. We have to make six stock solution. First stock A, B, C, D, E, and F. In the manufacture of multi-scale culture media, the chemical component of the media manufacture are first made in stock solution so as to speed up the process of making media every day. Here, an example of making media that will be explained in the following: how to make culture media based on Murasagiouscope media. The composition of MS media is usually made of 6 solution, macro divided into 2, macro 1 and macro 2, also micronutrient, iron EDTA stock solution, vitamin and growth regulator to make easier to make a media. Next. Here stock stream of stock solution procedure. The first, we weigh the chemical one by one according to the composition on the table and mix and stir in the distilled water and then measure up to 1 liter and then stored in refrigerator. Okay, next. After the stock solution we made, this is a flow chart for media preparation. In slide, we made for 1 liter media, and then this all the preparation of stock solution for macronutrient, micronutrient, vitamin, iron, EDTA, also hormone or PGR. Dissolve with distilled water, and the final volume with 1 liter with distilled water. And after that, after the stock solution and distilled water dissolve, adjust the pH of the medium 5.6 up to 5.8. You can adjust, and then after you have correct pH, adjust, and then add solidifying agent if the desired, melt in and distribute it into jars, and the medium is finally sterilized by autoclaving. pH was adjusted to 5.6 up to 5.8 using pH indicator paper. If the pH is too high, drop hydrochloric acid, and then if pH is lower, add potassium hydrochloride. Okay, next. This is about pH. pH, plant cell and tissue require optimal pH for growth and development in culture. The pH affect uptake of ions, and for most of the culture media, pH 5 up to 9 before sterilization is considered optimal. Higher pH is likely to give a hard medium, while a low pH result in unsatisfactory solidification of the agar. Okay, next. This is autoclave. Autoclave to sterilize the medium for 15 minutes. Okay, next. After the media is sterilized, we have to store the storage of the culture media. There is 2 cold room for long-term storage, but I need to be careful about condensation of water and contamination. Usually about the temperature about 4 degrees Celsius and in the darkness. This is important for some plant growth regulator as IAA or indoor aseptic. Also, room temperature in the dark should be wrapped or in plastic bag to prevent desiccation, good for assessing contamination of media before use. It should store in the dark place because that so that plant growth regulator in the media is not damaged. Okay, next. This is a picture media storage. Okay, next. This is some example of research media composition for hot pepper seed propagation from initiation until multiplication of growth callus and elongation until root induction media. You can make experiment your own. This is some example of research. And then next. This is also some research for tomato seed production. The media from germination seed and initiation, and then for root induction media from MS and IBA. Maybe that's all my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Ms. Niken.
Thank you very much. Ms. Sani, your knowledge on tissue culture is highly appreciated. Do you have video you would like to play before we get started to the discussion?
Okay. Video? Yes, we will play video.
Okay, sure, you may start the video now.
Make media as much as 1 liter. Prepare the tools and materials needed. Ensure that the culture bottles have been sterilized in the oven for at least 1 hour with a temperature of at least 150 degrees Celsius. Make sure the analytical scale is ready to use for weighing sugar and agar. Make sure the hot plate and magnetic stirrer is ready to use to help dissolve the materials for making media. Make sure you understand how to use a measuring pipette. Make sure you understand how to use autoclave. Make sure the stock solution that has been made before is ready. Weigh 30 grams of sugar. Weigh 7 grams of agar. Prepare a 1000 milliliters or 2000 milliliters beaker. Insert the magnetic stirrer. Place it on the hot plate. Enter approximately 500 milliliters of distilled water into a beaker. Press or turn on a button hot plate at medium speed. Measuring for each stock solution, with the following conditions. Stock solution 1, macro, as much as 100 milliliters. Stock solution 2, micro, as much as 10 milliliters. Stock solution 3, FEEDTA, as much as 100 milliliters. Stock solution 4, vitamin, as much as 10 milliliters. Put the sugar that has been weighed into the beaker. Measure the pH of the media with pH indicator. If the pH of the media is less than 5.8, add NaOH. If the media pH is more than 5.8, add HCl. Make sure the pH of the media is 5.8. Put agar that has been weighed into a beaker glass. Adjust the media volume reaches 1000 milliliters in a beaker glass. Press or turn the heating button on the hot plate. Make sure that the media has dissolved completely. Turn off the heating button after all the ingredients are completely dissolved and the media is boiling. Pour the media into a measuring cylinder as much as 20 milliliters, then put it in the culture bottle that has been prepared. Close the culture bottle that already contains the media. Sterilize the media in autoclave for 15 minutes. Store the culture media in the incubation room. After 1 week, make sure the culture media is not contaminated with fungi and bacteria. The culture media is ready for planting explants.
Thank you very much, ICAT Lembang team. The step-by-step explanation on the video impressed me greatly, and I hope the participants learned something new as a result. Distinguished participants, as you may be aware, Mrs. Fiadini Putri and Mr. Abdur Rahim are already seated close to Mrs. Sani. They will also assist in answering questions from participants on tissue culture media, taking into account its relationship to the next topics. Commentary on Mrs. Sani's presentation is now open to all participants. Our discussion should last around 10 minutes. To participants, you can give comments verbally by switching on your camera and microphone. And as a last resort, you could also write it in the chat section and I would read it aloud. Anyway, Mrs. Sani, participants are asking about the slide file. Will it be possible to update the slide files on the LMS? Because as far as we are concerned, they are not the same as those in the LMS.
Yeah, already replaced by Miss Fia.
Yeah, for your information, I already replaced the slides on the LMS, so you can access that through the LMS.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Sani and Mrs. Fias, for the confirmation. For participants, if you would like to download the new slide files or slide updates of Mrs. Sani's presentation, of course, you can download it from the LMS by using the username and password that you already retrieved through the emails. Perhaps Ms. Rebecca from Guatemala, do you have questions? I saw you are turning on your camera. Please, Ms. Rebecca. She's turned on her camera. Okay. Maybe we still have a few minutes remaining for discussion. So perhaps Mrs. Sani, could you elaborate on about the protocol, because we know that every species has a unique growth cycle. Can a consistent protocol be developed, especially for the length of time tissue cultures are kept in the laboratory?
Thank you, Ms. Niken. Maybe for the type, for example, for making tissue culture media for potato, we use agar for 40 grams, but for tomato, banana or hot peppers, we use sugar 30 grams. And the time of tissue culture different every plant.
Okay.
An example for potato, from initiation, 1 month. Thank you, Mr. Abdul Rahim. You can see for potato. That's for 1 month. More quickly than rather than banana, maybe. Okay, thank you, Ms. Niken. Maybe Ms. Bia can add some more.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Niken.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Sani, for the explanation. So I assume that everybody who wants to practice tissue culture, they should memorize about the duration for every species. Is it true, Mrs. Sani? Can you confirm? Yes.
It's true, Ms. Niken.
Yes.
Run
Okay.
every species. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyway, for participants, since we still have a few minutes left, the committee has arranged a fun game to keep you entertained. Within few minutes, you will see link on your screen and in the chat section. I will share it on the screen right now. Okay. Okay. So to access the game, you must follow all the capitalized letter in the link. The game will last for a total of 10 minutes. You may start visiting the link. Of course, maybe perhaps by copying the link that you see on your screen, or maybe by clicking it right away from the chat section. You can begin playing the game now. participants, you have 3 minutes left to complete the game. Okay, thank you participants for your active engagement and participation. After 10 minutes, I believe that we already know the result. Mrs. Fiadini, could you please let us know the outcome of the game?
Okay. Okay, we're going to see the result now. And the winner of the game is... Okay. Congratulations to Miss Margarita Castro. You're the winner because you're very quick. We're counting the score and also the time of finishing the game, so you are the winner. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, congratulations, Miss Margarita, for winning the first place. We still have a few minutes remaining for discussion. So participants, I would like to encourage you to ask questions or of course, if you have comments regarding presentation from Mrs. Hanifah on tissue culture media, please feel free to deliver it right now before we conclude this session. Or maybe, Mrs. Sani, maybe I would like to ask a final question before we conclude. We know that to our knowledge, tissue culture requires special conditions, including strict hygiene practices, temperature regulations, the use of laminar airflow, among others. In what way would a school or university should invest in tissue culture to motivate their students practicing tissue culture? For example, do they need to establish a complicated or a multifaceted laboratory? Or is there any alternative for that that is more cost effective?
Okay, thank you. The question, Miss Niken. Maybe in university expensive, but we can learn about tissue culture in home scale. In Indonesia, there is some of some home industry who will teach or making training on tissue culture in home scale. Maybe Miss Via can add some more.
Okay, yes, just like Miss Sani said, in Indonesia, in some of the farmer, they also able to grow the plants and using the tissue culture in a home scale. And for example, to replace the laminar airflow, which is, we know that is costly, they can use the NCAS. NCAS is just like a simple container to do the aseptic work of tissue culture. So it not has to be very expensive. A household, you can do that in your home. And for example, for the orchid farmer and also the mushroom farmer, they usually have a simple laboratory of tissue culture in their place. So it's not very costly. It depends on what you need. Of course, if you need for a research, it will be, laborious and costly.
Yeah, costly. And maybe it do in university, maybe for research.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Ani and Mrs. Via, for the answers. Anyway, since the time limit for discussion is, the discussion session is already over, perhaps we can summarize the results of our discussion. First, we agree that every species has different time length in the laboratory. And therefore, everybody should pay attention to what kind of species that they would like to use in tissue culture. And the second point is that tissue culture can be conducted in cost-effective way. Now, we're about to wrap up our session on tissue culture media, which will also be our last session for the day. Perhaps Mrs. Sani, do you have final comments regarding tissue culture media? Please.
To make a media, you have decide the composition of what you plant, the species, and don't forget to work and see the formula of composition carefully, and use clean sugar and all the components or distilled water, and the media will work. Maybe that's all. Thank you, Ms. Niken.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Sani, for imparting your knowledge on tissue culture. I'm sure we will still see you for tomorrow's session. Anyway, so distinguished participants, a few sessions are scheduled for tomorrow, as you may learn on the provisional agenda. Presentation will be given by Mr. Abdul Rahim and Mrs. Vyadini Putri on tissue explant treatment and acclimatization. We would greatly appreciate if you could return tomorrow at the same hour, 8 p.m. Jakarta time zone, with the same meeting ID, passcode, and link. With the end of this session on tissue culture media, I shall announce the recess of this training. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ibu Sani, Bu Siti, Ibu Via, Pak Abdurrahim, dan semua tim dari Pusatan ICAT Lembang. Sampai jumpa besok.
Iya, sampai jumpa.
Terima kasih, Bu.
Terima kasih. Ya, terima kasih.